How many times have you told yourself that tomorrow will be different? How many promises have you made to yourself only to watch them burn away, forgotten by the time the sun sets? The truth is, you're lying to yourself. And deep down, you know it. You've been stuck in the same routines, feeding yourself comfort and excuses, while your potential is suffocating in the background, waiting for you to wake up. Why do we let ourselves live like this? Why do we tolerate the pain of stagnation and call it normal? The Stoics warned us about this. So, let me ask you, what's standing in your way, and are you finally ready to face it? The discomfort you feel isn't your enemy. It's your guide. It's the signal that you've been ignoring your own truth for too long. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop hiding from that truth, how to break free from the lies you've been telling yourself, and how to finally become the person you're meant to be. If you're ready to stop playing it safe and take ownership of your future, please subscribe. This is about committing to your growth, your journey, and your potential. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Stop waiting for readiness. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow"? You know that feeling of putting things off, waiting for the right moment to act, telling yourself that you'll be ready when the stars align. But here's the thing. That moment you're waiting for is never coming. The truth is, readiness is a myth. You will never feel perfectly prepared, and if you keep waiting for the right time, you'll never take the first step. That feeling of readiness, that magical moment when everything clicks into place, it doesn't exist. You have to create that moment yourself. The best time to start is right now, even if everything feels uncertain. Life doesn't wait for perfect conditions, and neither should you. Think about the most successful people you know. They didn't wait for the perfect opportunity or until they had everything figured out. They took action despite the chaos, despite not knowing exactly what would happen next. They acted even when the path ahead wasn't clear. That's the difference. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who make progress lies in the willingness to start, regardless of the situation. The hardest part isn't even taking that first step. The hardest part is overcoming the fear of being unprepared. But guess what? Seneca wisely said, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Every day that you spend waiting is a day you're not living. You're not living in the fullest sense of the word. You're just passing time, and time, once gone, doesn't come back. So, what are you waiting for? The conditions are never going to be perfect, and that's okay. Perfection doesn't lead to action. Action leads to progress, and progress leads to growth. The moment you decide that you'll start right now, even in the middle of the mess, that's the moment that everything changes. Stop waiting for the right time and start taking imperfect action today. It doesn't matter if you don't have everything figured out. Start the business, even if the plan is rough. Speak up, even if the words aren't perfectly chosen. Start the workout, even if you're not in peak shape yet. Start. It's easier said than done, I know. The fear of failure holds most people back. We convince ourselves that we need more time, more knowledge, more preparation, more anything before we can act. But the truth is, the best way to prepare is through action itself. The more you act, the more you learn, the better you get at whatever it is you're doing. Life doesn't give you a rehearsal before the real performance. You don't get to practice in the waiting room. You learn by doing. The world doesn't need perfect plans or perfect people. It needs people who are willing to step into the unknown and take the risk anyway. When you take action, even imperfect action, you learn more in one day than you ever could in a week of preparation. It's that simple. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. It's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. The truth is, every second spent waiting is a second wasted. Start, even if you're scared. Start, even if you're not sure where it will lead. What you'll find on the other side of that fear is confidence. Confidence that only comes through doing. So ask yourself, what have I been waiting for? What if, instead of waiting for everything to fall into place, you decided to act as if it already had? The first step might not be perfect, but that's where growth begins, in the imperfect action. The gap between where you are now and where you want to be is only bridged by action, and there's no better time than now to start crossing that bridge. The next step is up to you. Are you ready to start? Because if you're waiting for some magic moment, you'll wait forever. The reality is simple. Time waits for no one. If you want to build something, to change something, to become the person you were meant to be, you must act now. Stop putting things off. Stop telling yourself next week or next month or when the time is right. There's no time like the present. Life is happening now. Stop watching it pass by while you wait for a better moment. The world doesn't care if you're prepared. The world just cares if you show up. And you will never be fully prepared. That's not the point. The point is that you show up and take the next step, even when it's messy. Embrace the mess, because it's through that mess that you'll find clarity, and it's through that mess that you will grow into the person you want to become. So go ahead, start now, and let the process of doing teach you what you need to know. Lesson 2. Stop making excuses for your failures. We've all been there, making excuses for why we can't get the results we want. How many times have you told yourself, I don't have the time, or I wasn't born with that talent, or how about this one? The timing's just not right. Sound familiar? These little justifications may feel comforting in the moment, but they're just that, excuses. They're a shield, a defense mechanism that keeps us stuck in the same place. We convince ourselves that the reason we're not moving forward is because of some external factor. But here's the truth. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They keep you in the same loop, stuck in the same place, year after year, never really breaking through. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't blame circumstances or waste their time complaining about why things weren't working. They accepted their reality as it was, no more, no less, and then found a way to adapt and grow within it. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They made the conditions work for them. Think about it. How often do we make excuses instead of taking action? It's easy to get comfortable in those excuses because they provide us with a reason to avoid the discomfort of change. But what would happen if we stopped letting ourselves off the hook? What if, instead of blaming the world around us, we took full responsibility for where we are and what we're doing with our lives? The truth is, the more we blame, the more we give up control over our own lives. When you stop making excuses, you begin to see the opportunities you've been ignoring. You start to see the reality of what's possible rather than staying stuck in the story you've been telling yourself. Next time you catch yourself slipping into an excuse, ask yourself, is this really the reason I'm not getting results? Or is it just easier to stay comfortable and complain? That's the question we need to ask before we let the excuse grow any bigger. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's in the discomfort that we begin to make real change. When we stop blaming everything around us, we start to realize we have far more control over our lives than we think. The Stoics didn't shy away from this. They faced harsh realities, and instead of fighting them, they learned to work within them. They didn't wait for the world to give them permission to succeed. They created their own path, and so can you. Marcus Aurelius nailed it when he said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Stop talking about the change you want to make. Stop planning. Stop waiting for the right time and just start living it. The power to change is already within you. All you need to do is stop hiding behind the excuses and step forward. It's that simple. The only thing standing in your way is the story you've been telling yourself about why it's too hard or why it can't be done. But that story is a lie. You can do it. You just have to decide to act now. No more waiting for things to be perfect. The truth is, perfection will never come. You'll never feel fully ready, and that's perfectly fine. The key is starting anyway. Start small, start messy, but start. Every step you take is one step closer to where you want to be. The longer you wait, the further you get from your goal. The excuses we make don't just keep us stagnant, they drain our energy. Every time we say, "I can't," because we give away a piece of our power. We tell ourselves that something outside of us has more control over our lives than we do. But the real power lies in the decisions we make every day, not in the circumstances we can't control. The Stoics understood this well. They didn't focus on what they couldn't change, but on what they could. They didn't waste time arguing about why they were stuck, because they knew that arguing wouldn't move them forward. Instead, they took action. They focused on what they could control, their own responses, their own decisions, their own mindset. It's easy to make excuses. It's easy to look at your life and blame the things outside of you. Your job, your circumstances, other people, the timing. But every time you make an excuse, you give up a little more of your power. You start to believe that you have no control and you begin to feel helpless. But the truth is, you are in control. You control how you respond to every situation, and you control the choices you make moving forward. You have the power to stop the excuses and start taking action. You just need to believe that. So, let's get real for a second. What's been holding you back? What have you been telling yourself about why you can't succeed, why you can't change, why you're stuck? Now, I want you to recognize that every single reason you've been giving yourself is just an excuse. It's a reason to stay stuck. And while that's comfortable for a moment, it's not helping you grow. The only way to break free is to stop letting those excuses control you. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, act in the middle of the mess. Start with what you have, where you are, and do what you can with what's available. Don't wait for the world to change to fit your needs. Change yourself to fit the world. Stop waiting for the world to give you permission. Be the person you're waiting to become. No more excuses. No more blaming circumstances. Start living the life you've been talking about. Now. The time to act is now, not tomorrow. Every second you spend making excuses is a second wasted. You owe it to yourself to step up and take control. It's time to be the person you are meant to be. No more excuses, only action, only growth, only forward. Lesson 3. Embrace the struggle. We all want an easy life. It's natural, right? To want everything to go smoothly, to avoid hardship, to float along without facing any major obstacles. But what if I told you that the struggle is actually the key to your transformation? I know, it sounds counterintuitive. We've been taught our whole lives to seek comfort, to avoid pain, to chase the path of least resistance. But here's the truth. Nothing meaningful in life comes without struggle. Think about the hardest thing you've ever been through. The moment that felt like the world was crashing down around you. The pain, the failure, the heartbreak. Those moments were not just tests. They were your greatest teachers. They shaped who you are today. And while it may have felt like the end of the world in that moment, you came out of it stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The struggle, no matter how harsh, was exactly what you needed to grow. Without it, you wouldn't be who you are right now. It's easy to look back on those tough times and wish they had never happened. We wish we could have skipped the pain, the doubt, the uncertainty. But that's the point. Growth only happens when you push through challenges. When you face the struggle, when you endure the discomfort, that's when you really learn what you're made of. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't shy away from hardship. They didn't try to run from it. Instead, they leaned into it. They accepted that life is full of challenges and that our greatest growth comes when we face those challenges head on. The Stoics knew that avoiding difficulty only keeps us stagnant. When we stay in our comfort zone, we don't grow. Growth comes from pushing the boundaries, from stepping into the unknown and embracing the struggle. That's how you unlock your true potential. When life gets tough, it's easy to want to run. The instinct is there, to avoid the pain, to hide from the discomfort. But what if, instead of running, you leaned into it? What if you saw each difficult situation as an opportunity to grow? The Stoic philosophers believed that our biggest enemy isn't the struggle itself, but our refusal to face it. They didn't see hardship as something to avoid, but something to embrace. By facing adversity, they knew that we become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" There's always a lesson to be learned in the struggle. Every challenge, every setback, every failure holds the seed of growth, but only if we are willing to face it. The next time life throws you a curveball, don't try to avoid it. Lean into the discomfort. Your growth is on the other side of that struggle. The pain you're feeling today is shaping you for the person you'll become tomorrow. You see, it's not the hard times themselves that define us, it's how we respond to them. Do we crumble or do we stand up and keep moving forward? The choice is always ours, and while it might not be easy, it's the struggle that gives us the strength to go on. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This is a reminder that we are not defined by our hardships, but by how we choose to respond to them. You have the power to decide how the struggle shapes you. Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? When you embrace the struggle, you stop living in fear of failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you face a challenge, you grow. It's only when you stop facing the struggle, when you choose comfort over growth, that you truly fail. But as long as you keep going, as long as you keep pushing, you're moving forward. The road may not be easy, but the destination is worth it. So, the next time you find yourself facing a difficult situation, remember that you are exactly where you need to be. The struggle is not a roadblock. It's a tool for your transformation. Embrace it, lean into it, and let it shape you into the person you are meant to become. Growth happens in the struggle, and once you accept that, there's nothing you can't overcome. So stop avoiding the tough times, start facing them head on, and watch yourself grow. The struggle is your teacher, and it's time to start learning. Lesson 4. Become comfortable with being misunderstood. One of the hardest things to do is live authentically when you know others won't understand you. It's natural to want approval, to be liked, to fit in. We all crave acceptance, and there's something deeply comforting about knowing others see us in the way we want to be seen. But here's the catch. You can't please everyone, and trying to do so will only keep you trapped in a version of yourself that isn't truly yours. The truth is, when you start living authentically, you're going to face resistance. People won't always get you. In fact, they might even judge you, question your decisions, or tell you you're making a mistake. That's part of the process. It's uncomfortable, but it's also necessary for your growth. If you're going to evolve into the person you're meant to be, you have to be okay with being misunderstood. The desire for approval is something we've all experienced. We don't want to be the odd one out. We don't want to feel different or alienated. But constantly shaping your life around what others expect of you is a sure way to lose yourself. Think about it. How many times have you held back your true thoughts, your authentic desires, or your wildest dreams just because you were afraid of how people might react? How many times have you made compromises in your life to please others, only to end up feeling unsatisfied and lost? The truth is, living for others' approval isn't living at all. It's just existing in a role that was written by everyone else but you. That's why embracing the idea that not everyone will understand you is so important. The path to true freedom lies in stopping the chase for validation from people who don't share your values or vision. You have to stop worrying about being misunderstood, because the moment you start focusing on staying true to your own vision is the moment you start to live for yourself. Epictetus nailed it when he said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." It's a powerful reminder that your growth will make others uncomfortable, especially those who are still stuck in their own comfort zones. As you change, as you evolve, it will challenge their complacency, and some people won't like it. But here's the key: that's okay. They're not supposed to get it. You do. It's natural to fear judgment, to want to be seen in a positive light, to want to be accepted. But the truth is, you're never going to please everyone, and you're not supposed to. If you've ever tried, you know it's exhausting. The harder you try to fit in, the more you lose yourself. The world is full of people with differing opinions, expectations, and perspectives. So if you spend your life trying to make yourself understood by everyone, you'll be forever lost in a sea of conflicting expectations. Instead, focus on staying true to your own vision, and the people who really matter will come into your life naturally. They'll understand you, even if they don't fully agree with every choice you make. They'll respect you for living authentically, and that's what truly matters. Living authentically means being okay with being misunderstood. It means being true to yourself, even if others don't understand why you make the choices you do. This isn't about being reckless or inconsiderate. It's about living in alignment with your values and making decisions that are true to who you are, regardless of what others think. When you stop living for approval, you stop giving away your power to other people's opinions. You start to take ownership of your life. This isn't about rejecting relationships or isolating yourself from others. It's about recognizing that your inner peace and growth matter more than external validation. Take a moment and think about where in your life you've been trying to gain approval. What decisions have you made because you were worried about how others would see you? What parts of yourself have you hidden to avoid judgment? Now imagine what it would be like if you let go of that need for approval. Imagine living a life where you didn't have to explain yourself to anyone. Imagine pursuing your dreams, taking risks, and walking your path without fear of being misunderstood. That's the kind of freedom we're talking about. True liberation comes when you let go of the need for others' validation and embrace your unique journey. This is not an easy shift, I know. It's not easy to stand firm in your decisions when the world around you might not understand. But the reality is that the more you try to explain yourself to others, the further you move away from your own truth. It's a constant battle between who you are and who you think you need to be for everyone else. The moment you stop performing, stop explaining, and just live authentically, that's when you'll start to feel the weight lift. You'll realize that you don't need permission from anyone to live your life. The only permission you need is your own. The road ahead won't be easy. You'll face moments when you doubt your choices, when you wonder if you're on the right path. There will be people who criticize you, people who don't understand the direction you're taking. But that's the price of transformation. When you begin to live authentically, you become a beacon for those who are looking for the courage to do the same. Your journey will inspire others to find their own path, to live in alignment with their values, and to embrace their own unique truths. The world needs more people who are willing to be misunderstood, who are willing to stand strong in who they are, even when others don't get it. So, start today. Stop living for others' approval. Focus on your own growth, on becoming the person you're meant to be. It's time to stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your journey. You don't need to justify your choices to anyone. Live for you, not for them. When you make that shift, you'll find a deeper sense of peace, and more importantly, you'll begin to truly live. You'll be free. Lesson 5. Guard your time like it's your most precious resource. Imagine this. You've just spent an hour mindlessly scrolling through social media, lost in a world of other people's lives, pictures and opinions. How much did you grow in that hour? How much did you really achieve? It's easy to get sucked into the endless scrolling, the constant distractions. We've all done it. But here's the hard truth. Time is your most precious resource, and every minute you waste is one you'll never get back. You can't buy more of it. You can't rewind it. And you can't pause it. Once it's gone for good. So why do we treat it as if it's unlimited? Why do we let distractions steal our most valuable asset? The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't waste time complaining about their circumstances or waiting for the perfect moment. They knew that how you spend your time is everything. It defines who you are and what you're going to achieve. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, urged us to remember, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Think about that for a second. You have limited time. Every moment you spend on things that don't serve your purpose is a moment that you'll never get back. The clock doesn't stop for anyone, and it's so easy to let it slip away on things that don't matter. Whether it's mindlessly watching TV, scrolling through your feed, or just procrastinating, it all adds up. Before you know it, another day has passed and you've gotten nowhere. Time is the one thing you can't get back. Once it's gone forever. And every second that slips by without intention is one less opportunity to create the life you want. What if you could change that? What if, instead of letting time slip through your fingers, you started to take control of it? Start by doing an audit of your day. How are you really spending your time? Are you investing it in things that help you grow, or are you just filling the hours with distractions that leave you feeling empty? It's easy to justify the little things, a few minutes here, a few minutes there. But it all adds up. And the truth is, you can either live intentionally with the time you have, or you can let it pass you by. The choice is yours. One of the hardest things to do is to be honest with yourself about where your time is going. We often tell ourselves that we're too busy, or that we don't have enough time for the things that really matter. But the reality is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how we choose to spend them. Some people spend their time building businesses, learning new skills, or investing in relationships. Others waste it on things that don't move them forward. The simple truth is that time is a mirror of your priorities. If you're not prioritizing the things that matter most to you, it's time to make a change. What would happen if you treated time like the precious resource it is? What if, instead of treating it like a never-ending well, you started to spend each moment with purpose? The Stoics didn't waste their days on meaningless distractions. They were ruthless about how they spent their time, focusing on the things that would help them grow and fulfill their purpose. Every day they asked themselves, what's the best use of my time today? And when they faced distractions, They reminded themselves that each moment is an opportunity to move closer to their goals. Time management isn't just about blocking out hours for work or setting a rigid schedule. It's about being mindful of where your energy is going. Are you spending your time on things that contribute to your growth, or are you letting your attention be hijacked by things that drain you? It's easy to get distracted, but every time you give in to those distractions, you're giving away a piece of your future. So ask yourself, is this really worth my time? If not, then let it go. You have bigger things to focus on. Think about your life 5 or 10 years from now. What do you want to have accomplished? The truth is, your future is shaped by how you use your time today. It's not about waiting for the right moment to start. It's about making the most of the time you have right now. Time doesn't wait for you to be ready. So stop wasting it. Start investing it in things that matter. If you want to build a career, spend your time learning and growing in that field. If you want to build better relationships, invest time in the people who matter most. If you want to improve yourself, dedicate time to your personal growth. But whatever you do, don't let time slip away without purpose. The challenge isn't that we don't have enough time. The challenge is that we don't always choose to use the time we have wisely. We allow distractions to steal our focus. We allow ourselves to get stuck in unproductive patterns. But every day is a fresh opportunity to take control of your time and use it for what really matters. Your time is your life, and how you spend it shapes the person you're becoming. So, what will you do with your time today? Will you continue to let distractions control you, or will you take a stand and start using your time with intention? Time is the one thing you can never get back. And every day that you spend on things that don't serve you is a day you're never going to recover. The question is, what will you do with your next minute? In the end, the Stoics knew that time is a reflection of how we live our lives. If we waste it, we waste our lives. But if we spend it wisely, if we use each moment to grow, create and build a life that aligns with our purpose, then we create something truly meaningful. Guard your time like it's your most precious resource, because it is. And remember, once it's gone, you can't get it back. So make every minute count. Lesson 6. Train yourself to need less. We live in a world obsessed with more money, more things, more success. Everywhere you look, society is pushing the idea that more is always better. More followers, more status, more possessions. We've been conditioned to think that the key to happiness lies in accumulating more. But what if I told you that the secret to true freedom doesn't lie in having more, but in needing less? Imagine how different your life would be if you could step off that endless treadmill of desire. What if, instead of chasing the next big thing, you could find peace in having just enough? Seneca understood this idea better than most. He said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Think about that for a second. It's not the things you don't have that make you poor. It's the constant craving for more that keeps you trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. We think that if we just get that next promotion, buy that next car, or wear the latest fashion, we'll finally feel complete. But the reality is, this craving for more keeps us stuck in a cycle of endless wanting. And no matter how much we get, it's never enough. There's always something else we need to feel good, to feel fulfilled. But that's not freedom, that's bondage. The truth is, we are drowning in excess. And it's not just material things. It's the constant flood of information, the endless distractions, the pressure to be constantly busy and productive. The more we accumulate, the more we are weighed down by it. We are so focused on acquiring things, new technology, bigger homes, more clothes, more accolades, that we lose sight of the things that actually bring us fulfillment, meaningful relationships, peace of mind, purpose, and personal growth. So, what would happen if you focused on what truly matters? What would it be like to stop measuring your life by how much you have and start measuring it by the quality of your experiences, your relationships, and your personal growth? The first step is to cut back. Start by simplifying your life. Spend less time buying things and more time building relationships that matter. Cut down on the unnecessary distractions that drain your time and energy. In a world that constantly tells you that you need more, learn to be content with less. It's not about deprivation or living without the things you enjoy. It's about getting clear on what really matters to you and letting go of the rest. When you begin to focus on what truly brings value to your life, you'll realize that what you need is not as much as you think. In fact, less often leads to more. More freedom, more peace, more time for the things that really matter. Think about your life today. How much of your stress comes from the pressure to have more or do more? What if, instead of constantly striving for more, you learn to appreciate and fully embrace what you already have? That doesn't mean you shouldn't set goals or strive to improve yourself. But what if you focused on quality over quantity? What if you measured success not by how much you have, but by how much you've let go of, how much unnecessary baggage you've freed yourself from? The beauty of needing less is that it opens up space for the things that truly bring fulfillment. It's a mindset shift that allows you to find joy in simplicity. The less you need, the less you are controlled by external factors. The more you focus on what truly matters, the more peace and happiness you create in your life. When you stop chasing after the next thing, you give yourself the space to be present, to enjoy the small moments, and to experience life without constantly feeling like something is missing. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And the truth is, you can't become who you truly are if you're constantly distracted by things you don't need. When you embrace simplicity, when you focus on what truly serves your well-being, you make room for personal growth, for deeper connections, and for a more meaningful life. The process of needing less doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, but it's a journey that's worth taking. It starts with being mindful of your choices. Every time you feel the urge to acquire something new, ask yourself, is this truly necessary? Will it bring me lasting happiness? Or is it just a temporary fix for something deeper? The more you ask yourself these questions, the more you start to realize that much of what you crave is fleeting and unimportant in the grand scheme of things. True abundance comes not from acquiring more, but from learning to need less. The less you need, the less stress you carry. The less you depend on external things to define your happiness, the more you begin to cultivate inner peace. You start to realize that you've been searching for happiness in the wrong places. It's not in the new car or the latest gadget. It's in the moments you spend with loved ones, in the quiet moments of reflection, in the work you put into becoming the best version of yourself. So take a step back today. Start with something small. Let go of something that doesn't serve you, whether it's a possession, a habit, or a thought pattern that's been holding you back. Choose to need less and watch how much more you gain. Lesson 7. Don't be afraid to burn some bridges. This one's tough, but it's crucial. Sometimes you need to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. You know the kind. Friendships that drain you, connections that only seem to take and never give, people who bring negativity into your life. And while it may be easy to recognize this, the hardest part is actually letting go. It's natural to want to hold on, to feel guilty about cutting someone off, especially when you've shared good times or history with them. But here's the truth. Not all bridges should be saved, and sometimes walking away from a relationship is the only way to move forward. We've all experienced it. You've probably had friends or acquaintances in your life who left you feeling exhausted, weighed down, or less than who you are. The conversations that were once fulfilling turn into draining exchanges. The smiles feel fake, the support feels conditional, and you start to wonder, why am I still holding on? It's hard to admit, but the truth is, some people just don't fit into the person you're becoming. They may not have bad intentions, but their energy is no longer aligned with yours, and that's okay. The Stoics knew this well. They understood that growth requires space, and sometimes you can't grow if you're surrounded by people who are constantly holding you back. Marcus Aurelius, in his writings, encouraged us to focus on those who inspire us and support our journey. He didn't mince words when he said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the people in your life contribute heavily to those thoughts." If someone is constantly dragging you down, creating drama, or limiting your potential, then the quality of your thoughts is compromised. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away. Letting go of these toxic relationships doesn't mean you don't care about the person. It doesn't mean you're cruel or heartless. It simply means your growth and well-being are more important than staying stuck in a relationship that no longer serves either of you. The people who truly belong in your life will help you grow. They'll challenge you, support you, and inspire you to be better. Those who don't, they'll keep you in your comfort zone, stuck in the same old patterns, feeding off your energy while offering little in return. We hold on to these toxic relationships because we fear loneliness or guilt. We fear what others might think. But the reality is, you're not obligated to maintain a relationship that's no longer helping you evolve. It's one of the hardest decisions you'll make, but it's also one of the most important. Holding on to people who no longer support you only keeps you stagnant. Letting them go is an act of self-respect. It's about acknowledging that your own mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being should always come first. Burning bridges doesn't always have to mean cutting people out entirely. Sometimes it's about creating healthy boundaries and stepping back. Maybe it's a distant family member who constantly brings negativity. Maybe it's a friend who only reaches out when they need something. It doesn't always require a dramatic breakup. Sometimes it just means stopping the flow of energy that you've been giving them. You don't need to explain yourself or justify your actions. You simply need to protect your peace. Yes, it might feel harsh in the moment, but remember that your growth is more important than maintaining relationships that keep you stuck. You're not abandoning people because you're angry. You're walking away because you've learned that your peace and growth matter more than their drama or toxicity. It's about putting your own well-being first. And when you start making this a habit, it becomes easier to recognize when a relationship is draining you and easier to step away without guilt. This doesn't just apply to personal relationships. It can extend to your professional life, your social circles, and even your internal dialogue. Are you holding on to negative thoughts or habits that are keeping you from growing? Are there toxic people or environments in your life that you've been tolerating for too long just because it feels easier to keep them around? Burn those bridges too. Let go of the things that don't serve your highest good. Make space for the people and the thoughts that will lift you up, not weigh you down. There's another side to this, though. Once you start burning bridges, you begin to make room for the right people. The ones who will challenge you, encourage you, and be there when you need them. Those are the people who will help you grow, even when it's hard. They won't hold you back. Instead, they'll cheer you on as you evolve into the person you were always meant to be. So, don't be afraid to burn some bridges. It might feel like the end of something, but it's really the beginning of something new. You're making space for the people who will build you up, not tear you down. And when you create that space, you give yourself the opportunity to evolve, to change, and to move forward in ways you never thought possible. Burn the bridges that keep you stuck and watch how much farther you'll go. Remember, growth isn't easy, and sometimes it requires tough decisions. But you owe it to yourself to burn those bridges that hold you back and make room for the people and experiences that will lift you up. Your future self will thank you. If this message resonated with you, don't let it end here. Click on one of the videos on your screen to keep going on this journey of self-discovery and growth. And thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal. Keep evolving, keep growing, and remember, your path is yours to create.